Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I have some new news concerning Tszyu, Sabastian Fundora. It was bloody. People, this is probably the bloodiest fight that I've seen ever. I mean, from both fighters. Blood from the scalp from Tszyu. Blood from the nose and the eye from Fundora. And the combination between the two, you could have sworn they were just playing in blood. It looks like they were wrestling in this stuff. You know, it looked like water paint. It was from their shoulders, their back, their chest, their arms, their fists dripped with blood, bro. All over their face. You know what I mean? It looked like a ritual killing or something like that. That's what it looked like. And despite the blood, the fight went on. Because I was in awe because of all the blood. Now, the fight started with Tszyu easily countering the jab of Fundora. For Fundora being the southpaw, he was able to lean, dip, shoot the right hand, sometimes get in the left hook. 2 rounds of that, Tszyu all day long. Tszyu was landing that right hand at will, and it looked like this fight was going to be stopped quick until he got caught with a headbutt. Some people call it an elbow, okay? So I didn't really see when that punch landed. I will go back and watch, thoroughly on that because I was live during this fight. And I appreciate the people in attendance, especially you guys in the UK and Australia down under, for staying up in support of Tszyu. That punch caused a gash in the 3rd round of Tszyu, and it was so bad that the blood streamed all over the face of Tszyu. That's where the blood became hardcore, okay? That's when it became free-flowing. And it's Sabastian, okay? We can't forget about him, okay? Sabastian, by the 2nd round, his nose was gashed, bloody. It was like Niagara Falls. So between the Niagara Falls nose and the waterfall gashed forehead of Tszyu, that's a recipe of a bloodbath. However, Tszyu wasn't the same after that. The right hand that he was easily landing because of the lack of head movement from Fundora wasn't landing anymore. And then what happened, Fundora caught on to the fact that Tszyu couldn't see the way he should have saw. Okay, wiping his face every 3 or 4 seconds. It's hard to do that, protect, and punch with the same weapon you're using to wipe your eyes with. Okay, let's just be real. Whereas Sabastian, yeah, he was hurt too. He was swelling. He was cut. He got cut with the left, I believe, in the 5th. No, right here. He got cut with on the right by a left hook from Tszyu. Okay, because Tszyu couldn't throw that right anymore. He started to incorporate that left hook coming over, and that was doing some damage. But then Fundora started landing that jab, and then the jab, then the straight left, and then the jab, then the straight left, and then the uppercut, and then the straight left again. Because one thing about Fundora, people, he is a offensive assassin when it comes to activity, okay? His activity couldn't be matched because he had the height, he had the reach, he had the momentum, and Tszyu was trying to find a way to get in, and then wipe that blood, taking jabs, taking straight lefts. Fundora was coming in, and he was hitting them everything but the kitchen sink, okay? And that came and went for a while. Then Tszyu would come back with a hard shot right upstairs that you would land out of the blue. Bow! Then he comes. That gets him back in these fights. And the fight went like that throughout. I gave Fundora the middle rounds because he had the momentum. Tszyu had and made an attempt for a rally. I think he gave the last round away in the last 30 seconds, in my opinion. But then the fight was over after all the bleeding, after all the blood, after all the drippage, after all the blood sacrifice that these two guys had. We went to the scorecards. Okay. Scorecards 116 to 112, 115 to 113, 115 to 113. Okay. Split decision win for Sabastian Fundora. And I know Tim was hurt. I think this is a lesson that people need to know. Boxing is, anything can happen in the sport of boxing. Hell, he's supposed to fight Keith Thurman. This was a replacement fight. We know the deal. Look at AJ and Andy Ruiz, okay? So these things happen. And an unfortunate thing happened with AJ is just like Tim Tszyu. But, you know, Tim Tszyu, I respect his honesty. I respect his humbleness. I think that he knew, you could tell he was broke up a bit. You seen tears in the eyes. They just weren't flowing out of the eyes, but you can tell he was tearing up. And, he was like, hey, well, I couldn't see. That's what happens. But understand something. A fight like that, knowing how it went, doctors coming in every other round to see if Tim Tszyu could still fight, which he did. He pushed through because I think he was looking for the knockout. And I was thinking to myself, what if Tszyu was able to get the knockout in a late round? That would have been a save by him, but I think, unfortunately, it had to come down to that for him to win. Now it was close. It was a split decision, but Fundora landed more. He didn't land more power shots than Tszyu, but he landed more overall. Okay, so, this was in Vegas too. Okay, so a lot of people got rich today or tonight betting on Fundora. Fundora, good guy, good kid. Take nothing away from him. I can say, and I do wonder what did Mendoza have in his gloves, because he was able to crack Fundora out, okay? So did Eric Lubin. So those guys were able to do things, and it makes you wonder, how much punching power does Tszyu really have? And now don't get it twisted. If that fight, people, if it wasn't for that gash, I think Tim Tszyu would have kicked that ass. Bars. Seriously, that fight was happening, and it was going a direction that it looked like, okay, Fundora is about to get out of here, because he didn't have an answer for the straight right or the overhand right. So something had to happen, and I think, unfortunately, Fundora benefited from a foul that, honestly, I feel should have been. That fight should have stopped in the fourth round as a technical draw, because that happened in the third round or even the late second round, one of those. But it definitely happened before the fourth. Okay, and one thing about Fundora I didn't like and didn't care for. A rematch clause was not ever said. Okay? Now, Tim Tszyu didn't ask for one, to be fair. But I think Fundora, I don't know why I keep calling Fundora. Fundora. It's Fundora. I don't know why Sabastian didn't make that clear known. Errol Spence came in, stole the show. Yeah, I'm going to break it down. Did like we do anyway. He got some height on it. Yeah, but we going to make that happen. So basically, this is a PBC card, people. So think about it. That fight can easily be made. I enjoyed the Amazon Prime card. We had Edes Lara. He knocked out Sarafa in 2 rounds, which was epic. Then we had Pitbull Cruz beat the hell out of Rolly Romero, which I'll go live for a recap tomorrow, which was very, very interesting. And then we had the bloodbath between Sabastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu. So I would want a rematch, but, of course, we'll see what happens. I don't think that Tim Tszyu had a rematch clause on a replacement like that, a replacement fight, but we'll soon find out. You guys tell me what you think of Fundora, Sabastian, upsetting Tszyu, Tim. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!